We've all heard the mantra that community will save us. I think I've said it from this very pulpit, and Reverend Marcus has too. Pundits and political scientists agree. The stronger our community ties, the better we can advance our progressive values. The steady drumbeat of evil demands a rise in value-based communal power to protect those we love. We know vibrant, engaged communities help oppose the growing authoritarian threat facing our country. We also know that community can be a balm against the scourge of loneliness. We've experienced that belonging to a community helps us be spiritually alive and emotionally aware. All of you have shown up here on a Sunday morning, so perhaps I'm preaching to the choir, though the choir isn't here today. But let's acknowledge that community doesn't just happen. It's not quick, it's not easy. Communities that make a difference take practice, dedication. Saying communities matter feels right. Establishing and sustaining those communities' work is harder to achieve. My wife Elizabeth and I learned this recently. Back in January, someone posted flyers around our neighborhood inviting folks to a low-key gathering in her backyard. My neighbor had also heard those pundits extol the need for neighborhood solidarity and decided to take action. Elizabeth and I walked over. We've lived in our neighborhood for 21 years, and we had never met a single person in that backyard. It was a sobering reminder that proximity doesn't automatically translate into community. Elizabeth and I signed up to make a larger neighborhood gathering happening. A small group of us made more flyers, left them at every door in a 2-block radius, and then hosted a potluck in the mini park nearby. All kinds of neighbors showed up. Our local city council member made an appearance. People signed up to be on an email list. It felt like a success. So we did it again. And the second time, a band played with a tuba. More people came. Some of the same ones from the first potluck, others attracted by the music. Again, the event felt like a success. So our effort had meaning. I recognize a few of my neighbors now. I'm friendly with the co-organizers. We'll probably host another potluck in the spring. But it would take many more events and organizational energy to foster a strong neighborhood community. The why of reaching out to our neighbors made perfect sense. The how of melding us into a community feels more challenging. After that second neighborhood potluck, I thought, maybe this would work if we met more regularly, if we had some programming, some activity to share. Friends, I wanted to turn it into church, which is where we encounter each other over and over again with all sorts of things to do together. Coo at new babies, grieve each other's losses, be on that lunch team, help each other age with dignity, learn about justice, practice hope and faith. Church has some major advantages in the community building realm. Now, some of you did a bit of community building recently by attending a 6-week session here at the church to read House of Hope, a book about UU theology by Reverends Rebecca Parker and John Burens. In one chapter, Parker and Burens tell the story of La Chambonne. La Chambonne is a small village in France that hid thousands of Jews during World War II. even as very few other villages did. Why? Why did these villagers hide Jewish refugees in their attics, their barns, their cellars, at great personal risk? Other villages didn't. What made Les Chambon different? Well, the people of this village were part of a minority Protestant religion, the Huguenots, who worshiped together despite state repression and a lingering history of religious persecution. They held on to the spirit of love and comforted each other through hard times. Maybe that's why all 13 pastors in Chambon participated in the effort to save Jewish refugees. When people of the village were asked later about their courageous choice, they said it was simply the shape their souls had. Simply the shape their souls had. Community worship had forged their souls into vessels for courage and resistance. How do we, UUCB, create a community right now that shapes our souls so that we can be a sanctuary for those in need? I have a few suggestions. I'd love to hear yours after the service. First, we accept that spiritual growth and depth is not just an individual undertaking. We all come here on Sundays for ourselves, to sit quietly, to cry, to remember people that we love. Maybe some of you come for the shared moments of silence, or to listen to the majesty of Katja's organ, or to be with friends. Maybe you're here out of habit. Maybe you're here to feel the Spirit move through you. Maybe it's the free lunch. It doesn't matter why you're here. All those reasons are valid. But know that you are not here just for yourself, even if that's your intention. We are collectively incubators for each other's souls. I have a Minnesota friend, I'll call him Thomas, who refers to himself as an agnostic with a strong lean towards atheism. Yet he attends the local UU church with a near religious fervor. I once asked him why. Going to church, Thomas said, offers me a weekly refresher that values and ethics matter. My church community helps me grow a moral backbone. My church community helps me grow a moral backbone. Faith might feel like the most private thing, but it's not. As Thomas understands, faith is communal and contagious. Faith is what our hands all hold together when none of us is strong enough to hold on by ourselves. Faith requires community. Just acknowledging this fact can change us, make us a little less individualistic, because we cannot grow a moral backbone all by ourselves. We need help. Now, once we've acknowledged that we're here to help everyone grow in faith, we can practice a more inclusive, more radical sense of welcome and belonging. Again, not easy. Radical welcome takes practice. We're human. We mostly want to hang out with the people we already know. We want to sit in the same pew. How many of you are sitting in the same pew? Yeah. We want to do things the way we've always done them, hear the music we've always enjoyed. But incubating community, doing that hard how work, asks us to change to hear new sounds, to listen to new opinions, occasionally rearrange the furniture. Welcome, radical welcome and belonging is also a vibe. When I think about radical welcome, I think back to family gatherings at my Aunt Ola Mae's house. The house itself was not the point. It had a threadbare carpet and a couch with a comfortable sag, faded wallpaper, a screened-in porch that ran all along the back. It was Aunt Ola Mae herself who created an environment of warmth and love. When I visited other relatives' house, I would go hide under the bed with the dust and read until my mother would pull me out and make me be polite. At Aunt Ola Mae's house, I sat in the kitchen as women swapped stories. I wandered into the living room and watched football with the men. Mind you, these were the exact same relatives that I hid from at other places. But it somehow felt different at Aunt Ola Mae's house. Other than making sure there was a delicious pecan pie on the table, Aunt Ola Mae didn't have very many hard and fast rules. It was the rare place in my childhood where new ideas felt welcome. And nurturing a community robust enough to counter authoritarianism means creating that same sweet Aunt Ola Mae vibe. It means imagining a place where every person, in all their peculiarity, in all their difference, feels like they belong. Maybe we even want to create some dust-free spaces for those who need to hide away and read. This vibe might require us to loosen our grip on old traditions, not let them go, but allow space for new traditions to emerge. If we can do this, let ourselves get a little bit uncomfortable to make other people feel more comfortable, something will shift in us. Our own communal resilience will deepen. Our souls will expand to make room for more spirit, more love. Here's 3. The how of community also means we learn respectful ways to disagree. We acknowledge our mistakes, and we apologize when we mess up. So mistakes. We make them a lot. It's part of being human. It's part of doing church. It's part of being community. That siren call of perfectionism, combined with a sense of certainty about our own position, means that many of us struggle to admit our mistakes. I know I do. I imagine that a lot of us do. And that need to be perfect, to look good, to be right, means our mistakes often linger, get compounded, come to define us in unhealthy ways. Mistrust festers, small arguments get amplified, positions harden. That's when we stop listening. That's when we give up on each other. Trust disappears. And the how, that critical how of community, begins to collapse. If we want to live into our mission to create loving community, inspire spiritual growth, and encourage lives of integrity, joy, and service, we have to make sure we talk to each other with respect and compassion. Repair starts with acknowledging our mistakes, talking to people who disagree with us, looking back at ancient arguments, making amends, starting again. Beginning to heal those communal differences strengthens our muscles for bigger community. And it gives us the energy to pay attention to the larger forces besetting us. To practice community requires that we pitch in and volunteer. We don't just think, we don't just feel, we do. If we want a powerful, moral, backbone-building community, all of us need to pitch in and make it happen. That means volunteering. Now, yes, I am the minister of community life, congregational life, and volunteer recruitment is a part of my job. So of course I believe this. I also believe it because it's true. And I get it. We are all overwhelmed. There's so much to do every single day. There are cross-town errands and carting children to soccer or swimming or fencing lessons. There's making dinner. There's working long days, taking care of sick parents, going to another protest. The emotional toll of current administrative policies don't help. It can feel impossible to add more to what you're already doing. And so many folks I talk to tell me they come to church to sit quietly in a communal space. That's what they need. Sitting in the pews, singing together, breathing together in meditation, these refresh our spirit. But serving together, whether on a I don't even like to say it, committee, serving on a committee, or at lunch, builds bonds, adheres us to each other. Volunteering is more than volunteering. It's getting to know each other in new, fresh ways. It can even be fun. Some of you already give generously of your time, and thank you. Showing up for a volunteer work party helps the church 100%. So does volunteering in religious education classes, or helping to design the altar, or writing thank you cards. Taking on projects, large and very, very small, for this community strengthens the whole and helps us as individuals, because sharing tasks cultivates trust, connects us ever more deeply with each other. Doing is critical to the how of church, to the how of community. And finally, go beyond. Take this community into the world. Pundits and political sciences extol the power of community because vibrant communities give their members the courage and fortitude to confront evil. UUCB is already pretty good at this. Francie and Mary's journey to the Central Valley is a great example. Reverend Marcus protesting ICE in Alameda is another one. All of us carrying signs and making phone calls, volunteering at food banks and for the local high schools, we are taking our community values out into the world. And if we keep growing our communal muscles, building our moral backbones, shaping our souls, our contributions to the world will expand and spread. There's no better time than right now to illustrate the how and the why of community. For ourselves, for our neighbors, for our friends, for our country. Let us rejoice in practicing together. Let us become the community we aspire to. And then let us become a sanctuary for those who need us. May it be so. Amen.